clicked on the intermission screen accidentally before I clicked on this one. Hi, guys.
Hey! Welcome to our show.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to Dungeon Duets.
Returning.
Yeah, if you're returning, we thank you for watching. If you're the one person who watches fervently, you are amazing. And I love you and I want to give you kisses. Mwah.
But also, if you come back or if you watch this later and you are new, welcome.
Yeah, if you're new, I want to give you kisses too.
Kisses for everybody.
Kisses.
On that note, I'll start us off. If you guys are getting here because you saw our Instagram, or if you've seen our Instagram, we're doing a dice giveaway because I make dice and I wanted to shamelessly build hype for the channel, so I offered a giveaway. But people have been super supportive and have been reposting with kind comments about my dice, and so I want to thank everybody who's following and sharing our Instagram account because it's helping build us a following and build out that network of other creative D&D lovers. So yeah, thanks for all the support there.
Yeah, really, Dungeon Duets is an excuse to roll the dice that she makes. And
all of the
dice clearly
lined up here for myself right now.
No one's here for the show. We're here for the dice.
Yep. Those all rolled really well, actually.
I got a 5 and a 15.
Cool. Anyway.
What'd you get?
Oh, I rolled 5 of them. I got like a 17, an 11, a 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyway, what else? Other news, announcements. Can I announce the big thing? Do you want to announce that here? No?
What do you mean the big thing?
Casey and I are getting married.
Oh, you...
It's on our Instagram, too. So
Yeah.
if you're there, whatever.
It's already there.
It's happening. We're excited about it. I'm excited about it. Casey's excited about it. It's going to be great. But that's our other big news. Other than the fact that we're doing a dice giveaway.
Yeah.
What else? We had other things we wanted to mention or talk about. Oh, commission. Art
Oh, yes.
commission. If you guys are watching this later, whatever, we are on the hunt for an artist. We want to commission a portrait of Tiriel, my main character here, and just so we can have some character art of her.
And use it, for things like YouTube and just our Instagram, things like that.
Put it on the stream. We want to include it in part of our overlay. We want to maybe highlight it during our intermission screen. So I want to start out looking for some art. So if you know somebody or you want to do some art, hit us up because we are shopping for artists.
Yes. Yes.
What else?
I don't know. I'm not the news boy. You're the news boy.
I'm the news boy. I'm the one who brings the news. On that note, I don't think I have anything else. I think that's pretty much it. If it's not, we have a YouTube channel and an Instagram account and an Etsy shop, and you can find all of our other stuff there.
And my birthday's 6/18/1993, and our address is...
Don't. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here, and I think we're gonna jump into things.
Yeah, we'll jump right in. We'll jump right in.
Okay, you're making me nervous. There's also no music playing. Did you want music?
Oh yeah.
Playing? It's uncomfortably silent.
Now we'll jump right in.
Cool.
Oh, also, if you are the one viewer, let us know if our volume and stuff is working out all right, because we tend to have problems with that. So if you can, let us know. That'd be great, because if we go through recording a whole episode and there's no volume, I'll be angry.
Yeah. It's easiest if you have access to the chat to let us know there. If you don't, no worries. So.
Yeah. Alrighty. So, where we last left off on Dungeon Duets. With our character Tiriel. I believe what you did last time is you had just fought the Shadowhounds again.
We jumped in
and you were immediately fighting. You took some good hits, but then you guys gained your composure and killed 2 of them. 1 ran off. And then you made your way. You sort of went into this building. You figured out some things about it, or at least surmised what its use could have been. When Palavin was still a standing city. You learned that sort of it had some use as far as being a venue for sharing culture, sharing knowledge. almost like a museum of sorts. That was sort of the impression that you got. A museum, a sort of like display place for like cultural works, things like that, dances, performances, stuff.
All of the above. You realizing you stole a hair tie?
No, I'm realizing I don't have my bracelet on. I feel incomplete. I'll get it on the break.
Okay.
Anyways, so you found that, and then Tiriel decided that it would be best for you guys to just go ahead and back out so that you can go to your objective instead of dawdling and getting attacked again and again. You ended up going on the autumn paths, and you discovered that the offshoot that you discovered before, where the path had opened up to you, you discovered that there were footprints along that path. It seemed like someone had tread there recently. You know that the only other people who should have been in Palaven were the orcs and the team that just came right before you. That team was the team going after the Boulets. So you decided to tread down that path once again, and immediately you noticed that something was off. You saw a dead Boulet. You saw half of a person inside of that dead Boulet, and then you saw another dead man. You ended up venturing back into the temple and discovering 300 people after a long, complicated, and misuse of a levitate spell that I totally forgot. But you were using Miles to like sling from tree to tree to get yourself.
It was pretty cool.
It was really clever. I had misused the spell. I forgot.
And we made the best of it.
And then they made the best of it. Because that's what D&D's all about. Making mistakes and making the best of it.
I hope our excellent audio quality captures all of those slurping sounds.
Excellent audio quality.
At least A- audio quality.
I give it a C at best.
Oh,
If you can pick up what she just said, then we have really good audio quality. If you can't, I win. You discovered that there were still some survivors who had survived a Boulet attack. Those men were from the Adventurers Guild. That much was painfully obvious. And Hugin helped to heal up one who was bleeding out pretty heavily.
He's missing a leg.
He was missing a leg. He was a dwarf, missing a leg. The two other men, though, let you know that the Boulet was still out there, and you guys were like, "Well, we'll just kill this thing. We'll take it on. We'll destroy it." And so you did.
Exactly what we
did.
It
was actually a pretty good. It was a pretty good way to deal with the situation. You guys had determined that you wanted to sort of bring it out and attack it on the spot, and Hugin used thaumaturgy because you guys had left the temple because you figured out that it probably couldn't have gone to the temple's foundation, yada yada. But he used thaumaturgy to shake the ground in a spot, and that drew out the Boulet with a good persuasion versus or deception versus its insight check.
And then a clutch hold monster.
From Calthena, yeah. You were like, use Fireball if you got it. And she was like, nah, dude, I got something better.
Yeah.
So she used a clutch hold person, froze it pretty much midair, careened, slid into the ground, like Skyrim when the dragons like come down and like crash to the ground and leave the big like wake, the skid mark. Why do you laugh at that?
Sorry, no.
Does it make you think of poop?
Yeah. Sorry.
Gross. And then after that, the party proceeded to wail on this Boulet until it died, and you had killed it with a really good Shadow Blade attack, right? Or no, not even Shadow Blade. You just use your blade. Okay.
Because I had Dragon's Breath going on myself.
Oh, yeah, you freaking used Dragon's Breath. You flamed it. You were like...
Yeah.
That was my Dragon's Breath.
That was terrible.
All right, we'll stop being goofy.
Anyway. Recap. Fucked up a Boulet.
Made our way to the Ruby Gates. Finally, after so long of wanting to find out what was behind those big, massive gates, you discovered that the Guardians once again were impassive and weren't yielding to you at all. You even presented the ruby. And nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
Until Hugin tapped you on the shoulder and gave you the big, heavy, golden staff that you fused the ruby onto.
Mm-hmm.
Or that Kalthana helped you fuse the ruby onto with a mending spell. And then you essentially told them to open the door. You asked them, you bequeathed them.
Mm-hmm.
When they finally moved out of the way, you noticed that the ruby itself sort of coalesced into the shape of a lion's head with a gold ring around it, and that behind the ruby itself, behind this massive sort of uncut looking ruby, which then formed itself into a more polished image of a lion, there was a door.
Mm-hmm.
And you used the staff on the door, and when you did, it opened up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we left our last session. And now, Tiriel,
Yes.
you are looking through the open door. You see the remnants of a path. And then a lot of fallen stonework. A lot of fallen, like megalithic stonework fallen on top of each other. The roots from the trees above fusing into this sort of hardened canopy that seems to look like almost like it's trying to keep things out, or like it's trying to prevent passage almost entirely.
Like over
Yeah,
the top?
yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
trippy.
And on their branches and stuff is more just strewn about little bits of crumbled stonework that are sort of interwoven. And so
So it's like a nest of like overgrown roots and fallen rubble.
Mm-hmm.
Like
and what you do witness though, what's immediately apparent is that initially those first few steps that you do see that are intact look like they begin to go up.
okay.
But other than that, yeah, it's this nest of rubble. It looks like the path is barred off.
Does it look so it looks like whatever buildings were here toppled and like the plant
Not
life.
buildings, more like the walls.
Okay.
Like walled stonework. It doesn't seem like this stonework is from a building itself. It looks like it's more from like a wall.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so then everything is just sort of grown up and over it, like filling
Like a giant knot, essentially. Yeah.
I'm picturing like it sort of like we know that the city and the trees here are much more sentient than typical, so they've like filled in these gaps.
All right.
Interesting.
Yeah. You can hear from behind you the sort of fatigued gasp of Kalthena. Almost like it's weary. And it's a little dejected as she sighs. I can't believe it. I thought that maybe once we open the gates, we'd be able to. And she just sort of trails off very quietly.
It's definitely not what I was hoping to find. It's definitely not as exciting as the ordeal of opening the gate was, but is there any, like, we can see right where the path disappears into this, right?
Mm-hmm. So it looks like there is actually an actual path, but it's concretely blocked off. I mean, yeah. There doesn't seem like there's any way to...
Other than, like, hard excavation of this.
Right. Removing the giant stonework, because each piece of rubble that you see is massive.
Mm-hmm. I think this is perhaps a project to bring back and make a plan for. I think we're not equipped to do anything about this right now.
Are you looking at Kalthena, by the way? Like,
so I'm probably.
or are you just still looking forward and then talking?
Watching it, like.
You're hearing her.
Yeah.
Okay. Cause yeah, I mean, as you mentioned that this sort of a project, like, you almost hear like the blink, you know, like the whole, oh yeah, cause then she says, yes, I've commissioned teams in the past to help us excavate different parts of the ruin that were blocking passage. So I don't see why I couldn't call out another team from the Alliance who's good at that.
May just take time, but I think we all have plenty of questions to occupy the wait. I just want to, like, I want to take a step farther in and see, like, what the opposite side of this wall looks like. Like, if you were looking at this
opposite
wall... Yeah, if you were looking at this doorway from inside this district, like, are there any markings or anything left, like, on this side? Because there's the lion and the ruby that's above, like, the lintel of the door.
Yeah.
Is there anything similar on the other side or different?
You see some, like, Eld Elvish script. I guess go ahead and give me... I guess, like a history and arcana check. One of the two.
Okay.
Actually, history. History is totally the most appropriate one, yeah. What'd you get?
It's 14 total.
14? Okay, not bad.
Rolled a 7.
When you see it on the other side, the script has something to do with the body and the beginning of the body. That's really all you can get, though.
Is that something I could, like I could write down the script and go
You
back
could
and
write down the
translate
script
it later?
right to the best of your ability, totally.
Cool.
You can translate more of it.
Then I'll do that. And
Also, because now you're turned around, now you can see Calthena and Hugin, at least in your peripherals. Give me a perception test, or actually an insight check.
oh well, that's way worse.
One of the two.
Natural 20.
Natural 20? Are you kidding me?
Insight would make it a 22. Perception would make it a 26.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's natural 20. It only sort of matters. You are now seeing Hugin's face, really, for the first time since that door's been opened. And the expression that you're seeing on his face is that of, like, total devastation.
Like, sort of pause transcribing. Because at this point, Calthena's sort of...
Like, he's
over.
looking past you at the rubble behind, and he has this look about him, this
just like...
Yeah, like his frame has fallen, sort of crumpled in itself. His silvery eyes sort of have lost a lot of their luster. He looks a bit like defeated.
Tiriel's got a notebook out and she's like, transcribing what's on the back of the door, but Hugin, it's not an insurmountable pile of rubble. Were you hoping to get through?
Me? I'm fine. I'm fine.
That's the worst lie you've told the entire time I've known you, and you seem to be an excellent liar.
It's nothing.
Well, you can maybe tell me more over drinks. Close up the book and look at Calthena. Is there anything else you need here?
Me? No, I mean, we know the gist of it, that this is a large pile of stonework that needs to be moved, and of course somehow the trees need to be moved out of the way as well. I think I know what requests I need to put into the Alliance in order to get this done.
Well, at least we can rest assured that the first people finding anything here will be working for you.
Yes, she says, like, sort of, and not completely sure. Because it's not exactly how the Alliance works.
As far as Tiriel's concerned, that's how it works. She's not an alliance member.
Yeah.
Well, she's just like sort of turn around and look at the stonework again. Like, also a little, like, frustrated. Just, there's a lot of frustration for her and just getting in here and feeling a little, like, left out of the loop on what was going on here, and so it's a little disappointing for her too. And she just sort of, like, you know, shakes her head at the pile of rubble and turns back and walks back out.
Okay.
I guess I won't bother closing it if we're going to try to send our own people back in.
You're not even sure if you can close it.
I'm not even sure if I can close it. But at this, like, she's not really concerned about closing it because there's not, like, where are they going to go?
Oh, by the way, you also do hear and notice this sort of a little thump at your side on your back as there is a lot of movement and shifting in your pack going on.
I don't have my pack on me.
Oh, you didn't?
Remember, because I dropped it.
Oh, you dropped it?
Yeah.
Yes. Then you're seeing in your pack, it's like, you're watching as its shape is sort of like...
Like...
No, it's like something's pushing against the inside of it to make it, like, tumble. And as it, like, slides forward a little bit. Whatever's inside of it is trying to make it move.
I start walking towards it, and I cast Mage Hand to open it. Like, pull the strings and open it.
And then the pseudo-dragon just comes bolting out. He's just barreling, and he's, like, looking around until he sees you, and then he spots the staff that you're holding and the ruby on top of it. It's like, and he, like, goes flying and then lands right on top of the ruby.
Cool. Just picture him, like, wrapped around it.
Yeah,
like, his little tail, down the staff.
Yep. He's partway wrapped around the staff, sort of, like, clutching at it and, like, still, like, giving you these angry looks.
Tiriel's the most immature when dealing with the pseudo-dragon. Yeah. Then let's make our way back.
Okay.
And yeah, let's just go back the way we came and yeah, because those guys already headed back from the temple.
Yes.
Yes. And just head that way.
Okay.
I want to look as we're going because you mentioned before that Hugin had, like, a little bit of a limp, like, and he actually seemed to sort of use that staff.
Yes.
Like, how's he doing? Like, without it, because I'm carrying it. Like.
Yeah, I mean, he's still walking with a limp, totally. It seems like he's still just trying to, like, keep weight off that leg. It was his right leg, and so he's still trying to keep a little bit of weight off it. So yeah, he's just walking with a limp now, and he's just doing his best to stay off it. You can see that he's sort of scanning the ground a little bit.
It's really heavy. Do you want it back until we get back?
No, it is yours. I'll find a stick.
Well, let us know if you need any help.
I do not need help.
Well, we'll see. Follow them back and just Tiriel probably getting, like, progressively more grumpy. Like, the farther away from the ruby gates we get. Just because this is the opposite direction she wanted to be going today. Yeah.
Okay.
And I want... Yeah, I'd like to have Miles sort of ahead of us a bit and have him try to help scout. Like,
Okay.
I'd actually send Miles and Sindri, my familiar, out.
Okay.
And have both of them, just because, you know, they're fucking dogs. And I don't like them. And so, I'd like them to also sort of like fan out ahead of us and scout as we
Okay.
go back.
I mean, the dogs are invisible, just so you know.
Yeah.
In your experience.
But they make noise.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. We'll go ahead and have me roll me a perception test for both of them.
Okay.
We'll see what they notice.
The blue one will be Sindri, the silver one can be, or the blue one can be Miles. Silver one's Sindri. Oh, nice. He's a cat, and he has like a +4 to his perception.
Assuming it's with smell, if you're trying to go off smell.
He would have
no, he
advantage.
did have advantage, yes.
I don't think he really needs it, because that's a natural 19. Cat perception.
Kitty
That's
cat.
+3, so
Oh, +3?
22.
Not bad.
And then Miles is just a 6.
Oh, okay. Nice. Well, your spider friend, he makes his way around. Oh, you are?
I am.
Huh.
Yeah.
He climbs up a few trees. He swings around, launches his spider silk.
Gets distracted, having a good time.
Yeah.
Not paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't notice anything out of the ordinary. He certainly doesn't notice the demon dogs. Sindri actually notices it before Miles does, but as Sindri gets back into the open courtyard where the boulet was, the dead boulet, actually 2 dead boulets now, he is seeing a team of people come in from the entrance that you actually came in from. And they all seem to be wearing, they're all outfitted differently. Some are wearing these sort of strange, like animal skin or monster skin leathers. Another's wearing this sort of patchwork like plate armor that also seems to be made out of different materials. They're all outfitted differently, but one thing they do have in common is that they all wear mainly medallions of Magrin, but they're a lot like those other ones. Not like holy symbols. Mm-hmm. These are more of like those dog tag symbols. Sort of like helps to like show that they're with the Alliance and stuff. Mm-hmm. And as Sindri's sort of watching from behind one of the trees, he notices that they all have these bags in them, and then they get up to the dead boulet, the one that had half of man in his mouth, and they get to work. They pull out these very sharp utensils and tools and stuff, and they begin to pry the valuable like metal plates off of it. They take claws, teeth, blood. They're pulling apart parts essentially.
If we're like within 100 feet, Sindri could tell me he sees people. Like
right. It's pretty much he scouted a little bit further ahead. Mm-hmm. And like just went faster than you guys mm-hmm. did. Especially now that Hugin's sort of slowing down the pace. Mm-hmm. Eventually he finds a stick, or at least he will. 'Cause it's not hard to find a stick here.
Yeah. Just can't find a stick in a forest.
Man, where are the sticks at? Like I'm in a wood or something. I don't know what I'm saying.
I don't know.
It's I'm tired.
That's yeah.
Anyways. Stuff. Yeah, so as you guys as you get in within that 100 feet of Sindri and he communicates this back to you, at that point you were, you guys, he had been there for like maybe 4 or 5 minutes to see mm-hmm. them arrive and sort of crouch down and get to work, mm-hmm. Sawing through some of this shit. And then, yeah, so now you guys are upon them. And then, as you guys begin, are you just going to walk out or what?
I think as soon as they're in sight, this is sort of a new, like...
This is new to, as they're in sight, though, Calthena does say, oh, the harvest team.
Is this just a normal thing?
Well, yes, of course. That's how the bounties are paid. These men take the parts of the monster that is being asked to be hunted, in most cases, and of course they get the money from selling the parts of the monster. These parts are invaluable for creation of armors or potions, things like that.
Interesting.
Yes.
I've just never... I suppose I've never seen it done so efficiently.
This is how the guild, the Adventurers Guild, makes its money. It's how it runs its business. The business arm of its enterprise. And without it, there wouldn't be much of a reason for an Adventurers Guild without, of course, some way to capitalize on what we do. The secondary, of course, aim of the Adventurers Guild is keep people safe.
Oh, keeping people safe is secondary to a profit.
It's a fortunate byproduct. From the way that I've always seen it, it's how they operate these days.
Interesting.
It's not the how the Adventurers Guild started. It's not the spirit that it began, but of course this is a large part of it nowadays. And as you guys are walking up, you can actually see that some of these men, like one of the men, his armor, his like leather armor, looks like troll skin. If I'm sure Tiriel's like slightly familiar with trolls.
Probably passing familiar with trolls.
Yeah. Because I think they're also fake creatures, or they can be found in the Emerald Realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other guy has like this sort of like scaled armor that looks like it comes from monsters, and so
all of them seem to be equipped in the things they're harvesting.
Right. Yes. Like they certainly benefit from their business. And then they're stuffing these parts in bags, and like one guy like wipes his brow and he's like, "Hey, old friend, how's it going?"
Educational. Tira's just sort of like, I don't know, I feel like she would be a little like put off by like just sort of the mechanical like harvesting of this thing. Like,
Educational. There's a lot of learning in an ancient ruin that can be done, I'm guessing.
I think we'll be going.
Well,
You're welcome.
good day, traveler. Oh, did you do this?
The second one.
Oh,
Yes.
because we heard back from in the guild that these other men did it, and that they lost a few fellows, and it's terribly sorry.
So they made it back.
They did, yes. And then we were deployed.
Good to hear. You operate out of Vale?
Not we happen to be in the area, but we don't necessarily operate out of Vale. Sometimes we have men fly in by Griffin to harvest parts, but so we keep a contingent nearby.
Interesting.
Vale has a lot of monster activity, you see. Or at least the ruins do.
Interesting. Are there's still ogres in the temple?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any use for ogres?
Ogres? Well, their skin doesn't really have any good properties to it, nor do their bones or teeth or blood.
So that
probably
sounds
not.
like a no.
Yeah. But are there ogres in there?
Not anymore. There's 2 dead ogres, which is add to your butchery list here.
We'll see if we can get to them.
If they're not useful, just let them decay, but thought I'd mention it.
Well, well, maybe not you think, but Calthena can tell you that the ogres were a job more for protection. To, help keep adventurers alive.
Because they were eating adventurers.
Right. The boulets were more so like find these things, like the pseudo-dragon as well.
Yeah.
Except the pseudo-dragon wasn't to be hunted, it was more to be captured, which...
Totally did that.
Yeah.
Just haven't turned it in.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we need anything else here. I have no use for armor, so...
Well, see you later then. And he's just smiling, he's hacking away and pulling these parts. Like he's now pulling back a giant plate off the boulet's top side, and you're seeing is like all the sort of sinewy like
Tiriel
tissue.
leaves. Tiriel leaves. She doesn't need to see anymore.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Well, make our way back out.
Yeah.
Just follow whichever route these guys came in on, if they came in pretty quickly and
I mean, you
efficiently.
just make your way back out the way you
Okay.
came, essentially. You're now in the bazaar, and then eventually you exit from the entrance. There's nothing happens. You don't get attacked like you did. Yeah, you make your way outside the city, or outside the ruins, and now you head back towards Vale. And then as you arrive, Calthena is like, well, I'm going to go ahead and make preparations right away. I will see you two later, I hope.
I'm sure we'll be around.
Maybe we can have a drink at the tavern.
I think drinks are definitely on the menu. What time of day is it at this point?
So at this point, I think we'd said it was like 2 p.m. when you were done.
Okay.
When you would reach the Ruby Gate, so I'd say by now it's a little late afternoon.
Okay.
So it's beginning to get into evening.
Like how many hours would you say before it's dark? Like it's starting to get...
Yeah, I'd say like 2 or 3. Well, it's autumn, so the sun's gonna set a little earlier. So I'd say I'd actually just like around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So probably like an hour or 2.
Mm-hmm. Well then, maybe come back to the tavern just after sundown.
Okay, yeah. I'll do my best to get there. Like I said, lots of preparations to make, and she seems a little more excited about the prospect of getting the rubble cleared away, and getting past what lies beyond that. Because again, a lot of the ruined city makes travel through different parts very difficult, especially with the fact that it's like a forested city.
Mm-hmm.
It means entering even by air is difficult. Like, for instance, Calthena certainly could have purchased the use of a griffin, or requested one. But the fact that the sort of trees in the city is alive means that the canopy itself is almost like a layer of defense against intrusion from above.
And from a griffin flying into it. Like, there's probably not good places for a griffin to land.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, she's never really revealed anything, but this is the feeling that you're getting, is that, the grunt work has to be done on the ground.
But this is a huge, like, step forward in getting into the city. Like, this has previously been entirely impassable. Like,
right.
And because I think I'd asked this before, like, even attempts to just scale the walls were unpredictable because, like, walls moved. And so if you just scaled the wall, you have no idea where you end up. Like,
right, yeah.
So, it definitely...
And I mean, if you just end up in and around rubble, that doesn't help you.
Yeah.
That's not a path.
No. So, I'm going to have to make one.
Yeah, like, I think one of the best comparisons I have for my idea of Palaven and how it might seem is like, I think it's called, maybe this is from a game like Shadowrun or something, but it's Kowloon Walled City. It's like a city in Hong Kong that is like very ruined and run down, and it's like almost like a total dead zone. It's just like a place for gangs and all sorts of bad shit, except Palaven's a little more so, a little more, but with a
the
layer.
gangs are monsters.
The gangs are monsters, yeah, and there's like a layer of magic about it that also again keeps out intruders. Yeah, there's definitely this. You were talking about the sentience of trees, like, and even that dream and vision you had, where you felt like something is imprisoned in the city.
On that note, as Calthena leaves, Tiriel turns and looks at Hugin.
And he's already walking back to the tavern. I don't want this one. I don't want that one either. I don't want that one either. Okay.
Well, I'll follow him. And I want to walk up to... When we walk in, I walk up to Devlin. And look at him.
Yeah?
No one but
what
me
can I do for you?
picks up those bottles I paid for.
Well, of course. They're your bottles.
Just checking. I'll be
All right.
back for them later.
Yeah.
And Tiriel just walks upstairs.
Oh. All right. He like looks at another patron. He's like, "What's that?"
I want to sit down and I want to take the time to cast Identify on the staff.
Mm.
And just whatever room I've been in or wherever. Yeah. Take 10 minutes and sit down and cast Identify.
So, I don't have a card prepared for it or anything, because for right now, it doesn't do much.
Mm-hmm.
You learn that the staff's name is the staff of the noble Red Lion. It has various properties that currently are not open to you. But you detect that one of its powers is the ability to cast legend lore with charges.
Okay. And is it relevant to me right now how many charges it has? Or no?
It has 5 charges. It starts with
Okay.
5 charges. You roll 1d4 plus 1.
Yeah,
That's the charges you get.
How to use them, whether it requires attunement, and how many charges it has.
It does require attunement.
Okay.
And casting legend lore costs 5 charges.
Okay. And you said you roll a d4? Like,
You
at
roll
dawn?
a d4 at dawn, yeah.
Okay.
And you get a d4 plus 1. So your max you can get is 5 charges back.
Okay.
Now, again, you're sensing, however you're holding this staff, you're sensing potential to grow
Yeah.
in its abilities.
Okay.
And, yeah. I guess for a little bit of narrative stimulus about the staff itself is that you get the sense that this thing was not necessarily created for, like, combat so much as learning.
Mm-hmm.
In that it had a purpose a long time ago, held in the hands of wise and old elves who, for some reason, for some purpose, were connected to the Ruby Gate, or at least what's beyond the Ruby Gate. And that this purpose, one of the purposes of the staff was to open that gate and let people in. Yeah, you definitely get the sense that this thing is passed through many, many hands, and that you are at the end of that long line of hands. Are you imagining just like a long line of hands?
Just hand. No, I'm picturing in the Last Airbender where he has the sort of visions of all of the past avatars just disappear in the distance.
Isn't there one where
there's
they're
one where
going
they spiral around
yeah,
him
totally.
too. There's a lot of cool scenes. That's essentially what I'm picturing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this staff definitely has a lineage behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, all it can do is cast legend lore, and that costs 5 charges.
And I need to be attuned to it, which I'm not.
You need to be attuned to it. You're not.
Yeah. Well then, after doing that, Tiriel's probably just going to sit for a little while.
Yeah. How about you explain a little bit about what Tiriel's been going through?
Yeah. Part of what she wants to do is just write down her thoughts.
Okay.
She has a notebook of she has her spell book, and then she has a book of other information and stuff, and so she's probably gonna that's where she's been adding notes about Palavin. She's gonna flip a few pages and just start journaling, more or less, of just her thoughts, because it's been 4 days, maybe 5.
At least as far as she's been in Vale.
Yeah.
You had the first date you acquired the quest to go in and do the troll and the whatever.
Then we went in.
Then you went in on the second day.
Same day.
Back the same day. Next day you went to Calthena, and this is actually the 4th day.
To Calthena, I thought, because we went to Calthena and then we left the next day.
Right, that'd be the 4th.
That would make today the 5th day. So we met with Calthena. And then...
You arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Got the quest. Left for the quest. For the trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Left for the trolls.
Left
Found
for
the Ruby Gate.
Yeah.
Came back. Then the next day, Calthena. We're still on that 4th day.
Oh, we're still on that 4th
We're still on that 4th day.
Yeah. So it's been 4 days for, like, an elf who just spent decades lost in study in the Emerald Realm. Like, decades. So, Tiriel is like, I don't think she's had the time to really process, like, everything that's happened. Like,
yeah.
And, you know, she left the Emerald Realm, she left the Mirwood, she was exiled, like, by her own family. Like, we're the ones who sent her off. Like, and, yeah, she had some travel time after that, but no time, like, for what she really needs to, like, process all of this. And it's, you know, it's hard, like, days are blurring together, you know. Tiriel's having a hard time, like, just like we did here, like, sitting down and counting, and she's like, it's only been, both having the sensation of it's only been 4 days, but also, like, it's been 4 whole days, like, time is just not jiving for her right now.
Yeah.
And so, she's angry, she's frustrated by it, like, and she's confused, and that just makes her unsettled and angry. Like,
for Tiriel, being in a state of so much stimulus in such a small amount of time, at least for her, because for her, days and weeks and months can pass quickly. Quickly in the sense that she experiences them all sort of in a wave. It all comes to her, and she is just idly pass her time with whatever she sort of fancies, with whatever takes up her focus. And now the thing that she's focusing on, though, however, is presenting her constant strife, constant dead ends, constant ups and downs that are not used to what she's typically used to.
But all presented in, like, the speed and rapidity of, like, human, like, systems.
Yes.
Like, you know, these are people who do things in a day. Like, and I was like, I would spend a week just making a plan for this, or just, like, Tiriel's, like, probably just sitting there thinking about the fact that if she would have done this her way, she could have just spent days watching the walls in Palaven move. Like, days.
Yeah.
Like, she would have meditated on the movement of the walls in Palaven and then come right back to watching them. Like,
which that's an option for you, Bill.
Yeah. Thanks.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely existing in such a state of mind where things happen quickly and suddenly and at a pace that's sort of agitated for her. It's contributing to this rise of sort of undealt with emotions that are culminating in a lot of frustration. She's that temper and that anger, that emotion is beginning to boil over, especially for elves who can experience these things very intensely. You guys are very sensitive to the world around you. You're very sensitive to the things that happen. And so, yeah, so all this is going on and you haven't quite...
Yeah. And so she just, you know, she honestly probably spends most of the time until she told Calthena to come back, just thinking about that. But trying to write down her thoughts and trying to sort of take a minute in really the only manner she really has available to her to just process things. And then I think she'll probably, like, leave all of her stuff except for that staff.
Okay. You're going to take it with you?
I'm going to take it with me.
Okay.
And just for shits and giggles, ritual cast alarm inside the room. So if anyone comes in.
Without you knowing?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it could, like, do the doorway and the window.
So also another thing that you noticed about when you did identify The weight of the staff is intentional. It's a physical, symbolic representation of literally the weight of responsibility that the bear has when holding this staff. That's why you think it was made of such a heavy but fine material. The idea of nobility is being sort of a heavy burden to bear, and it's not for anyone. Yeah, you know that sort of that sentiment is not as pronounced now as it might have been one time, but it certainly still exists in Elven culture. It's why your father was such a hardened man in a lot of ways. It's why he stopped having the mirthful youth of elvishness, and why lines begin to start to draw their way down his face, because the weariness of having so much responsibility in a time of crisis for the elves, in which they sort of felt like a lot of their territory and their home was rent asunder, and no one's paid for that. You can definitely sense that that's why he's like that, and you can feel that this staff, the longer you hold on to it, the more it might begin to do that to Tiriel.
No, she'll bring that with her.
Okay.
And take one pouch out of her bag and just tie it.
Okay. By the way, the pseudo dragon is still totally.
Yeah. I'm just assuming
he's just wrapped
now
around
an
it.
active part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll buy him something to eat later. He's probably hungry. He doesn't let go of that thing long enough to eat.
It's hard. It's hard. Does his greed outweigh sustenance? Who knows? You can test it. You can just see how long he'll cling to it before he lets go. He used to have your pack to rummage around and just steal your rations.
Yeah.
In fact, you should mark off a few.
Yeah. I have a decent number right now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I bought more.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll go down and swing by the bar. Pick up my 2 bottles.
Okay. Real quick. You notice that one of the bottles is it's this dark bottle full of this sort of rich looking dark liquid. It's got even a bow around it, a little nice deep red bow, and then on the bottle itself is inscribed Saint Michel's Videmia. And then the other one is just a regular brown bottle full of questionably dark brown, sort of yellowish liquid.
Excellent.
Yeah, that is the worst you ordered. You ordered the best and the worst.
I didn't order the worst. I ordered something cheaper, but
oh, this was the cheapest.
Oh,
literally, Devlin went full on extreme.
Tiriel picks that one up and shakes it. She's like, "I'll pay the difference for something else."
You don't want that.
Put that back in the well where it belongs.
Ex-Moxie. Stuff's decent.
That sounds...
It'll do the trick.
Like paint thinner. Do you have anything maybe a step up from there?
No.
Nothing else?
Nope.
I'll give it to Hugo.
Nice.
And then I'll look for him and see if he's at a table in here.
You don't see him just yet.
Okay. Then I will pick a table for myself. I will take the staff and just thunk, put it on the table in front of me.
Okay.
And I want to sort of tuck the nice bottle away and leave that one on the table for now.
You are actually, as you sort of thunk, and then you tuck away the nice bottle, you place the cheap bottle on the table. You are approached by the human man, who you found in the temple. And he approaches you and he says, I just wanted to come up to you and tell you and thank you for everything you and your allies did for us back there in Palaven. It's a pretty dire situation we found ourselves in. Luckily, because of you, Balrig is gonna live. So we appreciate that. And then he sets a large sack of coins on the table. He says, I only think it's fair. That's half of the bounty for the Boulets, and you killed one of them at least, so. And you saved our lives, so. Please, take it.
Like, are there any, like, cups or anything on the table? Like...
You haven't brought any? But, I mean, you could get some.
Could I, like, wave at someone?
Yeah,
some cups?
you wave at the bar wench.
I'm just, like, pull the cork out of the nasty bottle and pour, like, a smaller amount of that in there. Hand it to him. I don't think it's very good, but...
This is Moxie. This is the worst stuff you can get here.
Realized that, but he insisted that there wasn't anything else, so... If you want it, you can have it. If not, I know someone who will drink it. But... What about the men who died? I don't need this. Well, I'm happy to take a portion of it. Do they have families?
We're making arrangements for the money that the other half.
This wasn't our fight. And Tiriel, like, I don't know if I can easily, like, I don't know how much is in it. Like,
1,000 gold. Somehow consolidated to nice, like,
yeah,
fat coins that are somehow 1,000 gold. Currency is just, like, a really hard thing to deal with in D&D. When you think about it, like, visually, they need to have, if it's Magic World, they need to have, like, magical pieces of plastic, and you can transfer magical money, and somehow that money poofs into a bank vault somewhere far, far away.
You can just hold your thing up to the, like, crystal at the vendor shop and
exactly,
pay.
and pay. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Doing it.
Banking systems, making them.
Yeah. Instead of physical coins. Makes no sense.
I'll take half of what's in there. And I'll push the other half back to him.
Okay.
I was like, split that up between the men who didn't come back or for the dwarfs' medical care, whatever. Doesn't feel right. Way too
music was way too intense, yeah.
Like, I didn't notice
take the
it
money
until
back.
Yeah, I didn't notice it until you started tapping. I'm like, oh, weird music.
Yeah, I always am very keenly aware of the music. And I'm like, fuck, why did I change this? Anyways, so you push back half the coins and you tell him to do something else with it, right?
Yeah. If it needs to go to the families of the men who died, it doesn't feel right to take it.
Well, that's really gracious of you, but I was also thinking you'd split that with your other two companions.
I'll offer this to them.
Are you sure? I mean, you deserve it. You killed one of them.
How about this? The man who healed your friend. I'll ask him what he thinks.
Okay, yeah.
See what he says. If he wants the other half or thinks we should split it with the third member, we'll do so. If neither of them want it, it's yours.
That's fair by me.
Slide it over to the side of the table and add it to the pile of things to talk about.
Along with the staff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
And it was...
Is there anything else I can do for you, though? Any other thing I can do to thank you?
You guys aren't looking for more work in the ruin, are you?
Yeah, probably not at this point.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
Where will you be headed next?
Well, I don't know. Balrig's probably going to go back to his family in Rivia, at least for a little bit. I mean, I'm sure at some point he'll get a good leg from Neverin and hobble back on that. Do some more work here or elsewhere. I don't know. That guy, you can never tell. but I'm sure when he does, he'll call us. For now, I don't know. I'm making plans to start heading west for the winter.
West?
Yeah, west is towards the Alliance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, west. I was like...
East. Yeah.
Picturing east. I was like, that's not right.
Yeah, no, east is back towards the Merwood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he like an actual adventurer? Like, does he seem to be wearing one of those things?
Yeah. I mean, you know, you haven't asked him, but I mean, even from his accent and everything, he sounds like he's from the Alliance itself, from the territories.
How much longer will you be in Vale?
Probably a couple more days while we make preparations.
Well, if we have need of any work or anything else, we'll find you.
As long as it's safe. I could, use a little less excitement in my life right now.
Well, we'll see. I won't offer you anything too perilous.
Cool.
You're gonna drink that?
Yeah, why not? He just downs it, and he doesn't even flinch or anything and just sets the cup back on the table with a clank. You know, it's not this bad this time around.
I'll assume it's an acquired taste and leave it to those who've already acquired it.
He just slides the glass back towards you and then stands up and he's like, "Thank you again for everything you did."
Do you have a name?
Me?
No.
Of course I have a name. What kind of man doesn't have a name? Yeah, my name is Ragris. Always have names on hand. Always. Only a doofus doesn't have names on hand.
A doofus.
That's his name.
Well, Ragris.
Ragris. And his dwarven friend was Balrig. God damn it. Anyways.
Well, Ragris. Safe travels.
What was your name again?
Tiriel.
Tiriel? You know, it's interesting. I've never really... He slows down. You can tell that he's beginning to consider his words.
Mm-hmm.
I've never met that many elves like you. Actually, I think you're the first one I've ever met. And, pretty good impression you made.
Well, I can't promise the rest of my kin will continue the trend, but...
At least you made the start.
Yes, I suppose.
Well, I'll see you around, Tiriel.
Farewell. Sort of slide the cup over. Just wait.
Yeah. He sort of nods, he dips his head, and then turns around his heel and walks off back towards the like adventure side where the clerk's at and stuff. And then you see like he goes over to the clerk, talks about some stuff, maybe like getting paperwork ready or something or whatever for the adventurers who died. You're not quite sure, but
he's doing stuff.
He's getting busy. Yeah. And then a few moments later, probably about a minute or two pass, you see Hugin begin to descend the steps. At first you see his feet along with that wooden staff that he plants and walks down with, the wooden staff he found in the that we didn't mention. But he found one.
It's a stick.
It's a stick. He found a stick. He begins walking down with it. And as soon as he descends the clearing, you notice that now his face is like fully shaven. It's fresh. And his hair is even cut to a much shorter length. And then he begins to make his way over to you, sort of like rubbing his jaw a little bit, like not quite used to the sensation. Sort of like rubbing his cheek, you know, like twisting a bit of hair between his fingers as he sits across from you. Looks at the bottle of Moxie and the cup there.
Slide the cup over and I pour him like a half cup of it. This is to share.
He takes it gingerly.
Mm-hmm. Whatever you're going to do, Hugin, if you pour it all over yourself, it's just going to get on your clothes. There's no beard to catch it anymore.
He looks at you with like a little wry grin and then just carefully sips it and then puts it down. Spicy.
Spicy. What color is it? I'm gonna lean over his cup and see, like, because I've only seen it like in the bottle, you know.
It's brownish, a little bit yellowish.
Brownish. Yep. There you go.
Brownish yellow, a little bit. Yeah. He slides the cup back over to you to share.
You know, I'll take a very small sip of it.
You're noticing now. Just go ahead and roll me a Constitution check, actually.
Cool.
Let's see how it feels.
Oh, that's a 3.
Yeah, it burns.
Mm-hmm.
And it tastes like piss.
Mm-hmm.
Spicy piss. But like full on burns. Like not in the good way, you know, like good spice is supposed to like linger in the back of your mouth. It's supposed to create like a full bodied effect. It's just like singes as it goes down.
Just sits back down.
Good. Yeah.
No.
No?
No. It's all yours.
All right.
That's honest.
He takes the cup and now he begins to just swallow with abandon. Doesn't even care and then sets it back down. Not bad.
That is one of the worst things I've ever consumed.
It's Moxie.
I want to wave over someone and just order like, an ale or something. Anything else.
Okay. Yeah. You order just some like
basic.
Regular basic ale, just something to wash it down with.
Just a nice weak wheat beer.
Totally. Weak, like watered down.
Yeah.
Essentially right next to water, you know, just a step up. And it definitely helps to wash the taste of your mouth. You're feeling your vision sort of twin a little bit, you know. You're not able to keep as much focus as you'd like because of that one sip of Moxie that just... Yeah.
Set that down.
Yes?
You and I have a conversation we need to have. Not right now, because I probably should not have drank that. But, sort of like, poke at the staff. You are very good at keeping secrets.
I have to. Not anymore.
I'm no stranger to the need or the desire to keep secrets. But I don't like feeling misled. We were wandering around in that ruin for how long? How long would we have wandered, Hugin, before you offered up your answers? How long would you have let us explore blindly, chased by dogs, before you told us you had what we were looking for? What was the point?
You'd been there for hours, maybe? Before you discovered how to open the ruby gate? I've had the solution for months. I've waited in that gate for months, maybe a year. And you see this sort of like darkened expression like cross his face. He's like, he's trying not to maintain like solid eye contact, but every time his eyes dart up to meet yours, there's like a hint of anger in them. I've been there for a long time. And you see he sort of like, one of the hands that's like pressed on the table is beginning to like sort of knead into the wood a little bit. I had to. My mistress demanded it. I was told to be there to wait for someone. And that was you. She chose. She chose well.
How many other people are in the tavern at the moment?
Not many.
Not many.
There's a few scattered about, just sort of idly talking and, having small conversation between themselves. Yeah, not a whole lot of people inside.
Well, perhaps we wait. I maybe eat something, and I don't look at that bottle again. We wait for Calthena. We let her celebrate. And then we continue this.
It's fine. Whatever you want.
What do you want, Hugin? Do you have anything you want yourself? Or is it just... Or is all that's left is what your mistress commands of you?
It's all that's left. I'm guided by my mistress, as are you. You don't have a say. Neither do I.
I feel...
Rocked by the moxie? He smiles again and he takes another giant swig straight from the bottle.
How do you do that?
Years of practice.
That does not sound healthy.
It is not. I sometimes piss blood.
We should get some food.
Yes, we should.
I'll just order. Tiriel will pay. And she'll also order some food and slide that gold back to the middle of the table.
Oh. Nice. Where'd you get that?
Well, I got it from the men we rescued.
Oh.
They were grateful and offered us half of the bounty for the boulets.
Oh, very nice.
Which I said I would ask you.
How much is it?
I would ask Calthena. I rough estimate about 1,000 gold.
1,000 gold? Wow.
I'll ask you, and I will ask Calthena. I don't know that I feel right taking it.
Why not? It was yours if they're offering it. You should not deny a gift. Or compensation.
Well, I'll take part of the compensation at least. If you want some,
It's
do. Yours. And anything that's left, I want it to go back to the men who died.
They are dead.
They have families.
And their families. Their allies are not doing anything about their families.
They said they were, but I don't know. This is
lots of gold. This is more gold than any family needs.
Well, that's why I said we would take a part of it and send it back.
How much do you want to take?
I don't know.
And we killed Dupoulet in minutes.
I don't think it was
How to
even
measure
minutes.
how much we've earned.
Well,
Not even a day of farm's work is worth as much as this.
no.
But the risk was a lot more.
And there were men who took that risk and didn't survive it. So,
We could go and bury some of the gold with them. They can take it in the afterlife.
think it would just stay in the dirt, Hugin.
Yes, but there are passages for which tolls need to be paid in the afterlife. And they could use the coin.
I don't think it works that way.
It does.
I don't believe you.
I am a priest of the Raven Queen, remember?
Are you sure about that?
I know more about the dead than you do.
That I will give you, but I am not completely convinced that you're a priest.
Me? Not a priest? I am a priest.
We'll see.
He takes a giant swig of the bottle. He's
just drinking out of the bottle at this point.
Oh, yeah, totally. He's abandoned the cup. And each time he puts it down, you notice that he doesn't seem to, like, get any ounce of drunk at all from this. And every time it goes down, it just goes down. Like, he's really used to liquor. Lots of liquor. Stop giving me that look.
You should not be drinking that.
It's
I
not
really
bad.
don't think it's meant for people to consume.
This is Moxie. It's fine.
Anything with a name like that should not be consumed by anyone.
What's wrong with the name?
It just sounds like something illicit and dangerous.
It's dangerous. Not illicit.
I reach over and shake the bottle. How much of it's left?
About a third. You want another?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
More for me.
Are we... I mean, we've been here for a few minutes at this point.
Yeah, you've been here for like 10, 15 minutes just talking. You guys sort of discussing the payment and what to do with it. Hugin puts up the idea of going and bearing it with those men. You, of course, seem more inclined to give it to back to the men, and hopefully they'll send it to their families, but you have no idea what they'll do with it. And yeah, so it's about this point that Calthena arrives. You notice this time, normally she's in very scholarly wear. She's in sort of tailored tunics and cloaks and stuff. Now she's actually wearing a dress. It's this long, flowy dress with like lace and trim work of like roses and different other types of plants on it. It's all in hues of pinks, a little bit hints of gold, trims like traces of gold here and there, and other sort of colors to blend it all in. I know it's very abstract.
No, it's very nice. I like it.
Okay.
As she walks in, sort of, if she doesn't see us. Sort of,
Oh, she totally sees you guys. Yeah, I mean you're
we stand
clearly
up.
noticeable. Yeah, you have a giant golden staff that's probably
Sitting
worth
at the
more in the
table.
tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor just sort of laughs and slides the bottle and the cup over.
Oh, I don't want any of that.
I didn't think so, but figured it'd be rude not to offer.
I hope that you did buy a better bottle, right?
Yes.
I believe you made mention of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want.
I'll pull it out and pour a small
Is
amount.
that some Videmia? That's all the way from McLean.
That's what it says on the label.
The vineyards in McLean, that's amazing.
Well, it should be for what I paid for it.
How much did you pay for it?
I don't remember. It
You
seemed like a lot
clearly
at the time.
Throw away gold.
Well, on that note, I'm gonna slide the gold back over. This is one of the topics for the evening.
Oh, I thought we were here to celebrate.
Well, this could count as a celebration. The men we rescued in the temple
Yes.
offered us half the bounty from the Boulets.
Mm-hmm.
Hugin has no problem taking it. I have no problem taking a portion of it, but
Well, I mean, we still have to pay Hugin for his help in our expedition.
what were you gonna pay him?
I think I wrote it down in my notes somewhere, hopefully. There's an amount in there. An amount, she says abstractly. She says vaguely. Hugin rolls his eyes. Yeah, I mean, she's gonna pay him for the quest, whatever it's up on the quest board. It's probably, a sizable amount of gold because a lot of it just entails risk. Probably 200-300 gold for just coming and keeping you guys safe. Yeah. So that could certainly be used to pay him off, and then we'll also have additional costs from the men that I'm hopefully getting from the Alliance to come clear the wreckage.
Well,
we could use that money, but if you, of course, if you have a problem taking it.
No. I think I'm just... To be honest, I am new to seeing death like that.
What do you mean?
I didn't live somewhere where people got mauled by monsters. I lived in relative peace and study. And the only dangers were the ones that I sought out on my own and avoided fairly easily. And so...
This is the world we live in. There's danger all around. Ever since the Scourge, monsters are like regular animals. They're everywhere. We do our best to keep people safe, and the Adventurers Guild does what they can to weed out the beings that get close to our homes and our lands.
Well...
So, being fairly compensated for killing such a creature that poses a threat, not such a bad thing. But then again, if you're leading this expedition, Tiriel, if you feel that there's a problem with taking this money, we can give it back to them.
No, I had not considered the cost of the rest of this project. And Tiriel sort of looks at the gold too, and she's like, and I don't think I've ever seen this much gold all in one place.
It's a fair amount of gold.
I've not ever had much need for it. I had a lot of our needs taken care of. And I didn't really have to worry myself about what things cost.
Well, your life sounds idyllic and nice. Why on earth did you ever leave?
Sarah probably like takes a bite of food. Just like
this is good.
like sort of picks it like a roll or something. I keep asking myself that.
Well, I hope you had good cause.
Me too, but I don't know. Being here just highlights how different it is. And I miss it.
There's sort of like flash of concern on Calthena's faces. Tiriel, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
No. I had half a sip of that earlier and I'm not sure I'm fine. But I will be. I think I am happiest with a puzzle to solve or something to learn, and that's right here in front of me, given the time.
You sound like my father.
Oh, well, I hope that's a compliment.
It is. He was a good man. He is, wherever he's at.
Finally take a sip of the nicer wine.
Oh, you pulled it out?
Yeah. And
Man.
I remember I pulled it out and like,
Oh.
because she got really excited
Oh,
about
okay.
where it was from.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. Did you pour some for Hugin?
Yeah, I poured a little bit for everybody.
His
Like-
eyes gleam at the sight. They sparkle. And he
Put
takes
the bottle
it.
back in, like, next to me.
No, he takes the glass and he just sips it so slowly. He is savoring the taste. Calthena begins drinking. This is really good. Oh, wow.
Take a sip.
You take a sip and it is, of course, leagues better than the Moxie. And you don't need to roll anything for this because it's not nearly
Tiriel's
as
like the tension like that Tiriel's probably been holding since taking that one sip just sort of like bleeds out of her head.
Oh yes, like it evaporates all the tension in your shoulders. You begin to unwind. What you're tasting in your mouth is this sort of like dark, luxurious sort of. It's a little sweet, but it also has this sort of full-bodied effect where it encompasses the entirety of your mouth as it goes down and sort of widens your throat and helps to just open it all up as this liquid just pours down. Yeah, and you notice also like a little bit of an aftertaste that just tastes sweeter and sweeter as you drink more and more. Begins to become more potent with every sip. Yeah, and you, for all intents and purposes, begin to feel the effects slowly.
I only like pour like 2/3 of the bottle for people to share.
Okay. You
It's down
guys,
to like the last third. She'll cork it again.
Yeah,
tuck
yeah.
It away.
you guys are drinking it. You're talking. Hugin for the most part remains. He remains mirthful. He remains grinning and laughing and telling stupid jokes and saying very vague and abstract things that he thinks are wise. Calthena laughs and inquires, about things that they saw, things that you guys saw, about your past, and you give little bits and hints here and there, but you don't ever let out too much.
Tiriel probably talks about her brothers.
You talk a little bit about your
If she talks about
brothers.
anyone, she talks about them.
Okay, yeah. And the night goes on. To the point where, you're down to that third of a bottle. And you're one of the last remaining customers, you guys and a few other people, a few of the stragglers here in the bar. Devlin seems like he's beginning to wind down the night. He's, pulling out a sweeper, and he's beginning to broom up a lot of the dirt and stuff left by other customers. The tavern wench is wiping down tables with a rag and stuff like that. And yeah, the night so far seems to be a little joyful. Seems to definitely leave off on a high note from where the experience left you with the Ruby Gate. And with that, we'll go ahead and take a 10-minute break.
Cool.
Because I gotta pee.
Me too! Alright. Yeah.
Pause it!
Back, guys.
Pause it!
Thanks for coming. Intermission time. We're back.
We're back. Ah!
Oh, God.
All right, yeah.
The night is late.
The night is getting late. And things are beginning to stir as an ogre charges to the wall. No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
The fury of splinters bursting through the door. Yeah, so you guys were having drinks, beginning to enjoy yourselves and relax, beginning to make idle conversation about various things, jokes and stuff like that. It's just the air is beginning to get lighter. The mood is beginning to get lighter as you guys are just busy talking the night away.
Slowly working our way through this very expensive bottle of wine.
I mean, topics range from the pseudo dragon. Calthena is very curious about what his obsession is with that, and you guys spend a few good minutes just laughing and joking about your pseudo dragon as he stands there
Trying to lure it off the end of the staff.
Yeah, you're doing
food.
everything you can. He doesn't leave, but he manages to still steal some food here and there in order to feed himself so that he can survive and clutch the gem.
Don't pseudo dragons have like a stinger tail? I just
Yeah, he just like
imagine him,
pierces. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you guys, spend some time talking about the boulet, and Hugin's giving all the credit to Calthena. Calthena's giving all the credit to you, and you're giving all the credit to Calthena, and it just keeps going back and forth.
No one's giving any credit to Hugin.
No one is giving any credit to Hugin. Yeah. Calthena talks about how creepy his abilities are with the little sort of moat-like spiders that hang in the air, and he just sort of dodges some questions, but
I
then
like the spiders.
I like the spiders too. And the night goes on until you guys are about 1/3 of the way in, and Calthena is just sitting back comfortably in her chair, and she's like, "Well, I do think it is time for me to go to bed now. Unless, of course, we have any other business to attend to."
I think we know where to find you tomorrow.
Excellent. I will be in my tower. Preparations, plans. We have so much to do. Please meet me, and I'll see you then.
Walk safely.
Oh, I will. It's like literally a stone's throw away. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And if anyone does try to stop me or do anything, I'll fireball them to death. It'll be great.
Good night, Calthena.
Good night, Tiriel. Good night, Hugin. She makes her way. She stands up, makes her way out of the Crying Cree Tavern, disappears from the doorway, and shuts the door, leaving you guys and a handful of other patrons still left Like I said, the tavern side is beginning to wind down. The adventure side is pretty much shut down entirely. So yeah. So now, what do you want to do? Just you and Hugin, and the staff on the table, the pseudo dragon.
I want to get up, go to Devlin, pay for our food for the evening.
Take off 4 silver.
And then ask him, Devlin.
Yes.
Maybe a strange question.
Shoot.
Is there anywhere in this building that I could get on the roof?
Yeah.
Would you mind?
I mean, you'll have to go out a window.
That's fine.
And just climb up from there. But yeah, go for it. I mean, what room are you in?
One with a window that we've established does not reach the roof.
Oh. Have I established that?
Yep. I've tried already and you told me you couldn't get on the roof from my window.
Hugin's window probably does.
What room
That's what you do, guys, the DM. You just roll with it. You roll with it, and you do nothing else.
What room is he in?
He's in, you go up the stairs, go to the left, It's right there. Roll with it.
Turn back. Walk back to the table. Pick up the staff and the bottle. Look at Hugin.
Yes?
Follow me. I'm gonna turn around and leave.
I will chase after that drink. And then you guys go upstairs.
I just help myself walk
into
through
his
the
room
and open the window.
Okay.
Actually, that's not true. I'm gonna stop in my room. I'm gonna leave the staff in there inside my alarmed room.
Oh, okay.
Close it and then climb out his window because I don't want to.
So you're leaving the City Dragon mine?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I just sort of I picture I just flop the staff onto the bed.
Where's Miles at, by the way?
Probably wandering around the tavern.
Okay.
I just leave him to his own devices. Don't steal anything. Or don't get caught stealing anything.
Woo woo. Woo woo.
Woo woo.
Woo woo. All right.
I assume the clockwork spider doesn't really need to sleep.
No, not at all.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, he while you're not doing anything, he typically just remains.
Goes into idle.
Yeah, exactly. He remains inert essentially. He sort of powers down, goes in a little bit of rest mode.
I figure at this point, we've been here a couple of days, established that just don't leave the tavern and don't get caught stealing anything.
He has not gotten caught yet, so.
I haven't bothered to look to see if he's stolen anything.
Yeah, so you and Hugin, you make it up in his room. You notice that his room, much like all the other tavern rooms, is very sparsely furnished. There is, his pack and stuff, which is over and around the corners of the room. Mm-hmm. But there's not a whole lot to it. It seems like the pack is literally all he has. Mm-hmm. So you guys make your way out of the window onto...
As nimbly as possible.
Onto the roof. The roof that's sort of there's still another tiered roof above you. Mm-hmm. That leads to other rooms and stuff. But this is sort of the one that crests and sort of looks out onto the street. Mm-hmm. Hugin seems to have that one window that leads out on the...
I want to try to get to a point where I can sort of see more of the sky.
Okay.
And I don't know, yeah, just a good clear spot to sort of perch up on the roof. And at this point, Tiriel's not even looking really to see if Hugin's following. She's just going. And mm-hmm. She just picks a spot and sits.
Okay. I mean, you end up hearing and sort of feeling in your presence. Hugin sits down next to you.
Can we what's the weather like?
The night, I mean, earlier in the day it was definitely drizzly and it was sort of mm-hmm. rainy, but the sky's cleared up since it's a nice, cold, crisp autumn night.
Probably more than a few minutes pass before Tiriel says anything. She just sort of watches the moon just ever so slightly shift. And then probably 10, Like, easily 10 minutes. Like, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Hugin seems to easily occupy the silence. He seems to have he doesn't shift around a bunch, doesn't fidget. He seems to be just as comfortable sitting still in the moonlight as you do.
You know, I'm still not accustomed to the way it moves through the sky.
What do you mean?
I spent decades in a place where the sun never moved. The sky didn't change. And I have not been out here for very long. And I am reminded of that.
You spent lots of time in the Emerald Realm.
I did.
I'm a priest. I'm educated on these things. Are you surprised?
I think you will have to try a lot harder than that to surprise me anymore, Hugin.
I guess the staff was a bit of a surprise. I thought if you were clever, you would have noticed. Clearly, you're not so clever.
It's hard to see. I think it's the things hidden right in front of you that are the hardest to spot. So I actually turns and looks at him. I have questions for you that I want you, I hope you will answer. And I don't know if you have questions for me, but I will answer them too. If you will humor me for a moment. And Tiriel pulls out the bottle. Hold this. Leave the cork in it. She also pulls out...
This was tempting.
I believe in your ability to restrain yourself. And she pulls out this little, dark blue velvet bag. Just a little drawstring bag. And starts to open it. And she pulls out just a very simple, sort of hammered metal, silvery metal, drinking bowl. It's like a goblet without the stem.
Interesting.
And she tucks the bag under her legs and just holds it in both hands. And she's like, I want to ask you if you'll do something. I spent many years in the Emerald Realm, studying, learning, partaking of rituals, and talking to beings almost as evasive and mysterious as you. So I had to adapt. I had to make parts of those rituals my own. So I was very afraid when I first arrived there. I wasn't sure that what I was doing was the right thing, or that I would ever make it back out. So I had to tell myself that in dealing with these beings, these fey creatures of mystery and deception, that I couldn't beat them at their game. I couldn't outwit them. But I could be honest, and that seemed more unsettling to them than deception. And that helped me be less afraid. And so I made this ritual my own, so that I wouldn't let my fear hide the beauty of the place that I was in. So I'd ask you, Hugin, will you drink with me?
I will.
No lies. No fear.
Now can I uncork the bottle?
I will. Like, pulls it out, just spits it off over the roof so we won't need it, and pours it into the bowl.
Okay.
And with both hands, like, holds it for a moment, and then Tiriel takes a sip and hands it to him.
Hugin brings it up to his lips, and he takes a sip as well. Now, do you ask me a question, or do I pass it back?
Do you have any questions you would like to ask?
No. I do not. No.
I will ask one. Who is your mistress, Hugin?
Haven't you guessed?
This isn't a guessing game.
She's not the Raven Queen. She is far older than the Raven Queen. Her
Widowed
name...
Mother.
The widowed mother, yes. Her name is Lenolith. She is the widowed mother and old mother. Older than almost every god. She is the goddess of fate. Goddess of the web that binds you and I and everything else. But fate is tricky. You see, fate is not a seeing of things that are coming or going. They are knowing when fate is here and now. I could not predict fate. I could not see your coming. I had to wait. She told me to wait. Our fingers are far. They go everywhere. They spread across the whole world, through our lives and our deaths.
You told me you mentioned her when we first met. And I don't normally dream, Hugin. I meditate. I pick the subject of my meditation. It's not normally thrust upon me in that way.
What did you see?
I saw parts of Palavin. I saw something dark. I saw a wrinkle in the plan I thought I had here. No one... no mistress whispered at me to come here. No one told me to wait. But this place came to me in a perhaps fateful way.
It is fate.
And so I think I don't know, Hugin. I don't know what's in Palavin.
I do not either. But you are here because of fate. But you could not see it until you were here. No one can. Fate is not in the future or past. It is in front of us.
Pass the bowl back to him. You were angry earlier. I suspect you still are.
A little.
What? Why did you have to wait?
I had to give the staff to someone that could open the gate.
That wasn't you.
No, it could not be me. Had to be someone with... I don't know. I'm not sure. But it had to be you, as we have seen.
But did it? Could it have been anyone who had the right pieces?
No.
How do you know that?
Because I've had the staff for far too long to not know.
How long have you had it?
I've had it for years. It came from my master. Those guardians, they were summoned by my master.
Who is your master?
He was a man named Numeneus.
It's a great name.
It was on him. And he told me to wait with this when he passed. I had to carry on his waiting. Because something lies at the heart of Palafin, something that wants to get out. It cannot get out. If it does, more people will be flocking to the shores of the Raven Queen than ever before.
This is a place of power and history, and I think that is what originally drew me here. And I don't know. I worry that the best we can do is leave whatever it is trapped.
It's too late. The doors are opened. If we do not get in and deal with what's in the heart, someone else will. Someone else who won't carry the staff or bear its weight. Fate is also not kind. I know this.
What were those guardians? Your master summoned them.
They are your people. They're elves. Or like elves, but dedicated to the widowed mother. They live in shadow. They operate in shadow, but they don't come from the Emerald Realm. They come from shadow.
Are they still there somewhere? Do you know? When I told them to let us pass, will they be back? Or is their job done?
I do not know. My master summoned them. I'm hoping they are gone and they are resting. It must not be pleasant to be kept from their resting place. But they have been there for at least most of his lifetime, most of mine.
That man that you laid to rest.
Mm-hmm.
You spoke to him. To his spirit.
Yes.
It was not something I had seen before, but Kalthena told me a bit about what it was you were doing. What did he want?
What did he want? What every man wants. The safety of his family and their continued health. Things that his companions will do and he can rest easy. Most men, when they die, do not want for much. Unless, of course, they are complicated men. Then they have dreams far beyond people's capacity. Putting them to rest is hard. They want for too much. Like my master. He can finally be put to rest.
What do you mean?
He wanted the staff to find its owner, its wielder. If I would have died passing it on to some other poor, sorry soul, I would have died restless. Our works must be done for us to move. That is what we believe with the Raven Queen.
I asked you this before, but you talk about your mistress and the things she's commanded of you and the things she wants of you. And I asked you, what is it you want? Is there... It seems that her demands have taken much. And I wonder, what is there that Hugin wants to do?
I want to see what you will do. That's it. I'm not complicated.
You met me yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know I will do anything?
I don't. Don't disappoint. I do have a question for you.
Very well.
Why did you leave the Merwood? It was fate, but you still had your reasons. You still had your mistress.
I left to try something that I was told not to do. I could not stay and not see if I was right. I would never have been happy accepting no. And so I left.
Were you right?
I don't know yet. And that's why I'm here.
You are more clever than I thought.
I'm very clever, Hugin. Thank you. I left because if I stayed, I would not have gotten stronger. I would have watched myself, along with the rest of my people, grow weaker. And I would not have been happy.
But the world seems to think they're growing stronger. Is that not the case?
They are growing angrier and less at peace. And that may look like strength for now, but it won't last.
Well, only time will tell. But so do you seek peace? Because you've came to the wrong place.
I have, hopefully, many, many years ahead of me to find peace. And sometimes to get there, it takes strife. And that is not something I'm accustomed to either, but I am having to learn.
Well, to a priest like me, life is strife until you rest. And then you rest. And then life is strife again.
Are you really a priest?
I am a priest.
Huh?
I told you.
You drink like a sailor.
Well, I might have been a sailor. In another life, perhaps.
Top it off with whatever's left in the bottle.
She drinks the rest of it, hands it back. So it's a nice...
Shake out of it.
It's a nice ritual.
It's the shadow of the one that inspired it, but it's nice nonetheless.
Shadows are places of rest.
One last question.
This is the last.
Well, it probably won't be the last, but for tonight.
For tonight.
You walk with a limp. What happened?
That is a story, not for tonight.
Fine. I think I will stay up here a bit longer.
Outside my window.
I can go a little farther away from your window if it makes you uncomfortable.
Will you come back through my window?
Find another way back in? Or maybe I'll stay until you wake.
That is weird.
I like the darkness.
Suit yourself. I will go to sleep in my bed.
Sort of like, can I climb to like a higher point on the roof?
Yeah, yeah. You can actually climb to like the highest point on the roof from there. It's just a matter of pulling yourself up and then ascending to where essentially the apex of the roof is. Yeah, you can totally be out there. You just want to meditate and trance on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Okay.
Sort of like climb up there, probably like pull off my cloak and like sit on it and, you know, like right at the peak of the roof and kind of balance myself there and
yeah,
meditate there and start to like walk away and turn back. Hugin.
yes.
Maybe spend some time thinking about something you want to do. There is plenty of time in between the demands of your mistress for Hugin, the maybe priest, to do something for himself.
Who says I'm not?
Seems like you haven't really had the chance.
Maybe. Or maybe you think that I've not wanted this all my life as well.
Seems a very strange thing to want all your life.
I am a strange man.
That much is obvious. I'll climb up the roof.
He hops back into his window. Well, more like hobbles back into his window. And, yeah, he, you eventually see the light in his room shut off. The sort of oil lamp get doused. And you...
Question.
Sure.
Can I scramble around on the roof? Can I get to the window in my room at all?
I mean, you can like be above it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just a sheer drop off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could certainly try to like finagle your way in, but it would be difficult. It would require a dex check for sure.
I want that staff.
Well, you left it. You're gonna climb back through Hugin's room and be like, "Hey, I left the staff."
Kinda.
I'll be right back.
No. If I climb back in, I'll just stay in.
Be less cinematic too. Be less cinematic.
Be funny.
Could you imagine like the ending of a movie where like the elf is on the like top of the roof, trancing, and it's like, "Oh shit, I forgot my staff," and then like climbs back into her room.
She's been drinking for hours.
That's fair. You have other chances to attune to it.
I do. That's okay. I just wanted to be able to use it the next time we play. But I'll just stay on the roof.
I mean, you know, it's an hour to attune, so like,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's not a full like 8 hours.
Oh, I thought it was like you had to tune it over a rest. So.
Short rest.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I clearly don't understand the mechanics of it. So,
That's my job.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So I'll just stay on the roof then. Like, briefly think, like, is it safe down there? Yeah, it's fine down there.
Okay. So you begin to trance. And your focal point for the most part is the moon.
Mm-hmm.
As the moon begins to cycle through the air. Eventually, at some point, when the moon sort of disappears behind some clouds, a tree line, when it escapes your view, you find that the black, all-encompassing sky with the pinpricks of light are the last things that you can see. And they sort of consume your vision until you realize you're not really on the roof anymore. And those pinpricks of light are getting closer. And they are sprouting legs. 8 legs to be exact. And they're beginning to crawl towards you on these tethers. Tethers that actually extend from you. And you can see as they sort of go off in the distance for miles. You're not sure. There's no horizon line or disappearing point, only that these pinpricks of light are now tethers to you. And then you sort of see this shape of some all-encompassing creature. It is the blackness that you see. And then you see at the end of these tethers, these fingers working on these strings, making a web out of it, bringing them together, connecting them in this sort of very entrancing display of this creation of this web. And as you're looking out, you begin to, your vision sort of shifts, and your perspective on it all becomes, you can see the web, but you're seeing it in 3 dimensions, and you're seeing it as it stretches, and it goes on for miles and miles and miles in all directions. This web that seems to connect almost everything. And then at the heart of it, you see the little spider working on it all. Except this one is not really a spider, just a woman. A woman with a pale, pale face, half-lidded eyes. You can't see her pupils at all. You just see the long, dark eyelashes. And you see the long, dark hair. And you see that she is tirelessly and meticulously working on this web. And eventually her head turns towards you. And she smiles. And then now you're seeing color return to your vision as the sun is rising. And your trance is ending. And that is where we'll go ahead and end this session.
Nice. Like it. You guys leave me on such cool, like, narrative Cliffhangers.
You know, that's the job. That's the job. Gotta leave you on cliffhangers.
Cool.
Just don't hate me for this one.
No.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you were... Whoa!
Two people.
Whoa, we had someone in here
Someone... We don't look
who's
at this.
posting a Bob Ross
Yeah, it looks like Bob
thing.
Ross. Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I super appreciate that.
We get so into it and then we're not looking at the stream.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks. We're done. This session is going to be sort of a short one. We planned this for be a more roleplay heavy session, so you guys get some more insight into what's going on. Next time, we're totally going to find out what's beyond the Ruby Gates.
Mm-hmm.
You actually get some more information. Thank you.
Glad you enjoyed it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. That definitely,
Man,
yeah.
2 viewers.
And one's not a ghost.
What? Yeah, I didn't want to clap too loud because that would have been really loud.
Whatever, let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We'll be back next week.
Yeah,
Or
we will potentially be back next week.
Okay.
We will keep you guys posted on our Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you liked. This will also go up on YouTube probably tomorrow, where you will see. You can watch it in its entirety, leave comments, whatever, likes. This is not YouTube, so I'm not gonna be like, hit that bell, But yeah, anything you can do to show us love, we appreciate it. Also, dice contest giveaway. Not contest, just giveaway. Dice giveaway. When will that be ending, by the way?
I'm going to keep it open until the end of the month. So last day of November will be the last day, and then I will pick a name first week of December. So
or 2 names.
Or 2 names if we get that many. Or more if you guys just blow it out of the
Or
water.
more, yeah.
Probably no more than 3. I don't think I can handle making more than 3 that fast.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Really.
I feel like you could.
I don't know.
You get crazy about making dice sometimes.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Pick a name first week of December so that we can send that out. Hopefully get it to people before Christmas. So, Christmas. Alright. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
We love you.
We love you.
Thanks for watching.
Hopefully we'll be back next week.
We'll see you next week. Potentially.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Sup?